Colored pencil technique, cool color landscape. Mythwister G. No. With Mr. G. With Mr. G. Just a quick review of using our colored pencils with dynamics. We're going to try to create a gradient. What that means is we start by pressing harder and then we lighten our pressure down. And in this example, I'm going to add some more pressure to make it darker. So the more pressure you have down, the darker it gets. The lighter pressure that you have, the lighter your colored pencils. And this is how we can create multiple versions of the color purple just by using how hard we press down. By pressing down, lifting up, and then pressing back down. And you'll see it's darker on one side and dark on the outside, the other side, but it's light in the middle. So now we're going to use just a different shade of purple. This is kind of more of a dark blue, doing the exact same thing, taking our pencils, pushing it down kind of hard without breaking the lead, and then just lightening up. And we're creating all these beautiful versions of blue. And then we'll press down a little bit harder, and we'll get a darker blue again. This next section is doing something that some of us don't think. We did this last year where we're adding a different color. We're mixing colors. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the color black and I'm lightly putting it over the green. So we're making it a darker green just by adding a real light. So I've got my pencil really lightly down. I'm not pushing down hardly at all. And you'll see the more that I do that, just going over lightly with a stroke like this, that it's darkening up that green. So you can do that with whatever picture you're creating, and you can create a whole new shade of green. Now for time's sake, I'm going to really condense this down. I'm going to speed it up because we've got to do the entire picture here. And so what I'm starting out with is kind of a gray, which is a neutral color. It's not a cool color. It's not a warm color. It's a neutral color, which means you can use it in any painting if you were doing an all warm or an all cool. And things like black and white and gray. So you'll notice that when I'm doing this mountain, I'm not covering the whole mountain, and there are sections where I'm pushing down a little bit harder, and there's sections where I'm putting down just a little bit less. And I'm even leaving some white space to account for highlighting where the light hits the mountain. So now I'm going to focus on these evergreen trees way in the background, and watch what I do. I'm choosing the left side. I'm going to do that gradient that I was showing a little bit earlier, and I'm pressing down rather harder there, and then I'm going lighter and lighter as we move to the right. So I'm picking the left side as my shadow side, my darker side, and then I'm going to make the right side of it light. So you'll see that I do this throughout all the trees, and everything that I do, I'm going to choose the left side because I feel like the light is coming from the right. Next, I'm going to move on to the trees. I'm going to pick kind of a gray brownish color, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to push down in this areas. This time I will put a shadow on the left side, but I'm also going to just pick areas that are going to be darker and lighter. Just like when we look at a tree, you see bark, and bark will have plenty of shadows on little parts of the tree, and it also will have highlights. The rest of this will be just filling in the rest of the landscape with cool colors. You could choose different shades of green. You can add some blue. Even when we get to the river, I've chosen to start with a little bit of a plum color. I've got the sky coming in right there, but I'm also darkening the bottom part of the sky. You'll see the plum color in the river here, but I'm also going to add some black to it. If we look at a river, most of the time it ends up being black. But of course, if you cup your hands, the water is completely clear. So it's a reflection of those things around. And you'll see that I'm choosing different kinds of green and putting down some different gradients as well. Now I'm going to add a little bit of crayon in there too, because I couldn't find the right shades of color, the right hues of color that I really wanted for those. And then just finishing up with gray and blue on the river. And that's it. I hope you have fun doing this, whether you do cool drawing or warm color drawing. Thanks for watching!